Terry. One of the nice things about running TV shows on DVD.com is I'm exposed to so many different shows that maybe were on before I was born, maybe things that I missed because of scheduling conflicts. And while some of these shows are on DVD, others are still coming. And I'm looking forward to catching up on some of these classic TV shows later this year. And classic, yes. Classic, like Charles in Charge. Vintage classic.
A child-started classic, I love it.
So what I'm going to do is have the panelists, I guess, introduce themselves and just tell us a little bit about how they got into the business and the shows they've been on. So Charlene, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Charlene Tilton, and are we supposed to be using microphones, or I'm just sitting on mine enjoying myself? Oh, I guess I could use it for this purpose too. Okay. It's early in the morning for that. You probably know me best as Lucy Ewing on Dallas. Dallas ran for 13 years. I was 17 years old when I started the show. I went to Hollywood High School and started working pretty much as soon as I graduated. And one of the first shows I did, my second professional job was Happy Days with Mr. Don Mostier. And I've been fortunate enough to be working in this business ever since. And currently I am working on the Tammy Faye Bakker story. I'm producing it and I'm playing Tammy Faye Bakker. So that'll be coming out soon.
Hello. Hi. Hi, Josie Davis. I'm here because of Charles in Charge. I played Sarah Powell on Charles in Charge, and I started the business at the age of 3 because my whole family was in the business, and got my SAG card at 3, started working at 4, doing commercials and stuff, and then Charles in Charge I got when I was 12, and I've been working since then. Well, that's all you need to know, right? Good? Okay. Thank you.
Don Most here. I did Happy Days for 7 years. Grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Started pursuing acting when I was about 14, 15. But didn't really start working until I was about 16 in New York, and then went to college at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. And was doing a lot of theater there, but then came out to California after the end of my junior year. I was 20 years old. Wanted to really amp up trying to find more work, and there was more work in LA at that time than there was theater in New York, but I wanted to see what would happen in LA. So I went out there. It was supposed to be for a couple of months, and I didn't go back for my senior year because I decided to give it a little longer try. And then about 3-4 months later, got Happy Days and started doing that. And we premiered in '74. I did it for 7 years, and then I left when my contract was up, and started doing theater and a lot of other TV and some films. And my first film that I acted in was a film that Jonathan Demme directed. It was his second film. It was called Crazy Mama with Cloris Leachman. And then I went on to do a lot more TV and film, and then started directing. Directed my first film in around 2000 called The Last Best Sunday. And more recently, and that's another reason I'm here, the film Moolah is a film I directed that Illumination Filmworks is distributing. It's out on DVD now. And also, I don't know if you saw me with Anson. Anson was with me. The two of us have gotten back together for the first time to work together acting, and we just did a pilot for a new series that we'll be producing and directing. It's called Take Two, and if you want, there might be a clip or two going up on YouTube soon, so you can check that out. And thanks for having me.
By the way, I'm available.
I'll definitely take that into account.
Thank you, Robert. My name is Peter Brown, and I started on radio in New York when I was 5 on a Saturday morning children's program called Let's Pretend. And somehow or other, my family moved to the West Coast. I wound up going up to Alaska in the Army, did 17 stage productions up there. I'm going to sketch this out briefly. Came down to UCLA, went to just a summer session there under Professor Ralph Frood, who was our drama professor. And I was going to go to Boston to the Leland Powers School of Radio, Television, and Theater that fall, but he said, I think you're ready for this town, give it a try. So, I was doing a play on Melrose Avenue, Desire of the Elms, working in a gas station. A fella came in one day in a Lincoln, handed me his credit card, it said Jack L. Warner. And I said, are you one of the Warner brothers? And he looked up at me and he said, I'm the only one left. I said, well, I'm an actor and I'm doing a play and I just got out of UCLA and you should put that, right? The next day I get a call from Sally Gaiano, the head of new talent at Warner Brothers. And he said, I have orders from the top to bring you in for a screen test. So I tested and got signed to a 7-year deal. Lawman came after that. Laredo came after that. And Bob Fuller came after that. So I'll turn you over to Bob.
I'm Robert Fuller, and can you hear me? And thank you all for being here today. It's a good crowd. I started in the picture business in 1952. I started as an extra and a front man. I worked for a year or so, and then the Korean War was on, and I got drafted and went overseas, spent 17 months over there. When I came back, I returned to doing stunt work, and I started studying acting with Richard Boone. And this was before Richard Boone ever did have Gunworld Travel. It was in 1956, I believe. And he liked my work, and he sent me back to New York to study with Sandy Meisner at the Neighborhood Playhouse. And when I returned, I started working in the picture business, doing a lot of episodic television until 1959, when I got my first series, Laramie.
When did you start dancing?
I'm not going to talk about my dancing. Very good, Peter. You're going to pay for that. Then after Laramie, I did Wagon Train, and after Wagon Train ended, I went into a very long-running series called Emergency. I played the doctor in it. Then I did a lot of episodic television after that with a recurring role on Walker, Texas Ranger, and I retired 4 years ago and moved to Texas. I have a ranch in Texas, and I bass fish every day when I can. And I'm married to an actress who still works. Her name is Jennifer Savage, and she starred in a series called Saint Elsewhere, and did the last 6 years on JAG, playing the Judge Commander. So my parents were dancers, professional dancers. My dad danced in the movies, and so they taught me how to dance a little bit. And in between my extra and my stunt work, I managed to go on a couple of dance interviews, and as chorus dancing in the background. And I actually did 3 or 4 musicals. I danced with Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen for Blondes, danced with Sid Charisse in Meet Me in Las Vegas, had a specialty dance number with Debbie Reynolds in a picture called I Love Melvin. And so I did a little hoofing and a little dancing for her.